Hello, and thank you for joining me on this course where I'm going to show you how I sell millions. I have been selling for a long time, I'm still selling, and I managed to sell millions. I did feel that I want to show people that it's a lot easier than what you think it is, so I made a video showing how I go about it and giving everybody the tips and tricks of getting there, and feel free to copy me. Okay, who am I? My name is Kevin. I come from a sales and marketing background. I have been in sales and marketing for most of my life. I've sold as a representative or a salesperson for medical companies, for pharmaceutical companies, life insurance, for investment. So I've got quite a broad range of selling background. I've also managed sales forces in the pharmaceutical industry, in real estate and in FMCG. And the bottom line is I absolutely love selling. I think it's the best thing there is. I also love training salespeople because I find it very rewarding to show people how easy it can actually be and how rewarding it can be. That's the best part of sales. I really do think that sales and selling has got to be the greatest career in the world. Obviously not suited to everybody, but for most people think you need to be born a salesman. I don't believe that. I really think you can learn the habits that it takes to become fantastic in sales, at sales, and to be able to appreciate and enjoy the fantastic lifestyle that you can get as a salesperson. If you don't love sales, you're doing it wrong or you're totally unsuited to it. I think it's more about you doing it wrong, because as I said, you don't have to be born to sales. You can learn how to do sales, and if you're not loving sales right now, stick around. I'm going to show you the easy and happy way to do sales so that you will start loving it, start loving your life, and loving your career, and loving the money that you're starting to. Okay, this is the free advice that I'm going to give, because as a salesperson and as a successful salesperson, I'm forever bumping into friends and colleagues and so on who ask me these specific questions. So I thought, let me make a video on these questions just that I can help everybody and show them how I believe in doing it. How do I sell more? That's the basic question that everybody asks. How and where do I get leads? A lot of people have huge issue and huge problems generating enough leads to keep themselves going. I think it's fairly easy, but that's a big question which we're going to handle. How and where do I get leads? I hate overcoming objections. Now that is stupid. This objections thing and the whole closing, it's been brought to the fore by people making courses who don't actually understand how selling is supposed to be done. We'll handle all of that much later. What must I change? So what must I change as a person? What must I change in my approach to selling, in my sales presentation that I'm doing? What do I need to change? And there are things you need to change. There are certain habits which you need to learn that need to become part of your daily sales routine. But I'll show you, and it's all easy things to do. And how do you close? I mentioned closing just now. I don't believe that a sale needs to go through this whole process and then suddenly you reach the close phase. Then you're doing it wrong. Closing needs to happen all through. So all you're actually doing is fulfilling a client's need. And if you're getting to say, yes, that's what I need, yes, that will work for me, etc., etc., there is no close. The sale just happens at the end of the whole procedure. So I'm going to show you how I believe in doing that, not having to reach a stage where you say, I don't know how to close, or I'm struggling to close. If you're struggling to close, you're doing the whole presentation wrongly, and you're not doing it according to what the client needs. So those are things that we're going to touch on. But first up, at the start of the whole sales process, how do I get more leads? This is a big problem for a lot of people, and if you don't have enough leads, you're going to struggle. So that's what I'm going to do first off in this mini course. Two types of leads. There are cold leads versus referrals. Okay, I believe obviously that referrals are much better for certain reasons. Handle that first. So you use introductions to get leads. If somebody introduces you to a colleague or a friend or a family member and says, hi, this is Kevin, he's going to help you with your life insurance or whatever it is. So let that person give you the lead. You contact them and say, your brother said I should contact you because I'm busy doing his life insurance and he felt you could benefit from listening to what I have to say. Whatever it is, whichever approach you're going to use. But you're established, your credentials are immediately established because you were referred by somebody that he knows and trusts. So immediately the credentials and the trust is out there. The trust is much easier to put on the table because you've been referred by somebody that he knows and trusts, and knowing that person is not going to refer you if he didn't already trust you. So that's already establishing trust. obviously, because of the trust and the credentials and the referral from somebody, there's going to be less resistance. And that's the problem that a salesperson has, is if you don't know somebody, there's an immediate resistance, like, what does he want to sell to me? What does he want from me? That type of resistance, which if you meeting them on a referral basis, there is a lot less resistance. Remember, people like to show off their cleverness and to show each other how well they're doing or how successful or what a great achievement they have. So people like to say, gosh, I've got this fantastic new broker. He's just invested my money for me and it's growing at 5% a month at this stage. It's really, really fantastic. So that's the type of thing that we use. People love to tell their friends and their family and so on, I've got this fantastic new broker. I've just been to a new dentist. He was great. That's the type of referral that we're looking for. But people don't always go out of the way to get you more business. You need to ask them for it. And most people are more than willing to do so. It's as valuable getting 3 referrals from a customer as what it is to get a sale. So you're going there to get a sale. At the same time, you need to get 3 referrals out of that person. I say 3 referrals because that's normally my target, is to ask for 3. Sometimes you could get a lot more. You could get 5 or 10 from somebody, depending on what sort of industry and what his career is. He might have access to a lot of good leads. You might only get less. He might only give you 1. But I put it on par. Getting 3 leads for me is as valuable as getting a sale. So I wouldn't say one is more important than the other. A sale is gold. That's what we as salespeople are looking for. So that's number 1. But to get 3 referrals and a sale is great. If you have a meeting that doesn't go really well sales-wise, and you don't actually manage to conclude the sale, but you do get 3 referrals out of the sale, that's worth almost as much as getting the sale, because out of those 3 referrals, you're probably going to get a sale, but you're probably also going to get another 9 referrals. So that's a way to look at it. Don't ask them, do you know anybody I could go and see? Because the answer to that could be no, or I'm not sure, or I don't really want to refer you, or that type of thing. Ask a different question. Do you have a brother? Do you have a sister? Do you have colleagues? Who do you work with? Where does your wife work? What is she? Who does her investment? That type of thing. Ask questions that have an answer. So the answer isn't yes or no, I don't want to refer you. The answer is, I've got a brother. Oh, how many brothers do you have? How many colleagues do you have? What do your neighbors do? You've got to keep on till you get those 3 referrals. 3 is your target. You might have 2 as your target. You might have 5 as your target. But whatever your target is, that's what you've got to keep on until you reach your target. Once you have the referred person on the telephone or maybe face-to-face or that type of thing, you got to start by asking questions. Don't start by telling them who you are and what you're trying to sell to them and what your products are. You've got to start by asking questions. So once you contact the introduction or the referral, you have to introduce yourself. So obviously that's the basic. Don't go into too much detail or too much. Just introduce yourself. And obviously give them your credentials, but tell them who referred you. That's the most important part, because their immediate thought is, who is this person calling me and why is this person calling me and where did he get my phone number? We all get harassed nowadays by call centers and so on, trying to sell you all sorts of things that you're not interested in and that you have no idea where they got your number from. So tell this person who referred you and why they referred you. Say something like, I'm doing their investments, or I've just built his house, or they've just given me the job to build their new fireplace for them, or whatever it is that you're doing for that person. But that immediately establishes credentials and the trust. And he will think to himself, oh, okay, well, if that's what this person is doing, it's not some person completely out of the cold, or some person who's trying to take me for a ride or trying to get money out of me for nothing. So it immediately establishes that trust. And then you need to say, so your goal with that phone call is to get a meeting with this person. I'm assuming that's what your goal is. It might be slightly different. But the goal would normally be to get a meeting that you could come and present yourself and your service to whichever person this now is. So bearing that in mind, in the course, the World's Greatest Salesperson, which I've put together, we discuss in depth about planning up front before the meeting what your outcome needs to be, and you must know what your outcome needs to be. Why I'm mentioning that is, for even this telephone call that you make to this referred person, you must know exactly in your head what your desired outcome is of this telephone call. And my desired outcome for this telephone call would be to get a meeting. That's it. That's my outcome. And I'm not going to put down that phone until I've got a meeting. All right. So that's how I would go about it. I would like to come and show you what I do. That's all I'm going to tell him. I've established my credentials. He knows who referred me, and I want to come and show you what I do. I'm not asking, and I would definitely not say, can I come and show you what I do? I would say to him, I would love to come and show you what I do, why the referrer is so excited about my service and so on. Could we make it later this week, or would early next week suit you better? And if he goes like, oh, no, other times, he said, okay, what about the weekend? Are you free on the weekend? It's only going to take about 15 minutes. That's all I need to show you. So the question, once again, that you put to him mustn't be, would you like me to come and sell you something? Because the answer to that is very easy to say no, and that's what he's going to say. So you say, I would love to show you what I do and why everybody is so excited about it. Could I come later this week, or would early next week suit you better? Because that's giving him and he's going to either say, oh, we can do later this week, and then you say, okay, give me a time, Thursday or Friday, what's best for you, during working hours or after working hours. Give him the options that are both yes options. So you don't mind if it's going to be Thursday night or Friday morning, it doesn't matter as long as you get a yes out of him. So that's all part of the learning what questions to ask and how to ask the questions. So don't ask questions that have a no answer. Can I come and see you, or that type of thing. You don't want to be asking those questions. If there is resistance, say, I'm not going to charge you for seeing you, which must sound like a huge favor that you're doing because your time is worth quite a lot of money and you're quite a valuable person. So you say, I won't charge you for coming to see you, but I would like to show off some of my achievements and show you why everybody is so excited about what I'm doing for them. I don't expect you to buy anything. I don't expect you to pay for anything. I just want to come and show you what I do and why it is so exciting. And you have to keep on with that sort of vein until eventually he says, okay, that's fine, I'll see you for 15 minutes, or yes, come and show me what you do. If he says, but just tell me what it is that you do, obviously you can say to him, I'm an investment advisor, but I don't advise to just put it into unit trust or into shares or so on. We go a lot deeper than that and see according to what your needs are and what your finances are like. We prefer to go a much safer option depending on what your outcome is and what sort of investment return you're looking for, that type of thing. So you've got to give him something really positive, and that mustn't just come off the top of your head. That must be planned and written down. You've got to have all of that written down and you're ready for the question, so that when he asks the question you say to yourself, fantastic, I'm ready for this. I've got the answers and I know exactly how I'm going to benefit. And you must know you're going to offer him some sort of benefit. So part of contacting the introductions, you're going to get better and better at this each time you do it. And I promise you, eventually it becomes fun. It becomes quite a challenge knowing, okay, let's see of these three guys, let me phone them. I want to get a meeting with each one of these three guys. It's like anything. You just get better and better each time that you do it. Remember, your goal is to get the meeting. That's what your goal is. So forget about everything else. That's what my goal is right now. It's not about more referrals. It's not about anything else. I'm telling this guy great. The goal is to get the meeting. So if you get the meeting, the call was successful. If you don't, it wasn't successful. So that's what you need to keep in mind. What do I consider to be a successful outcome to this telephone call? It's to get the meeting. Once at the meeting, you're going to have two goals. The first would be is to establish what their need is and to fulfill it with your product by asking the questions and by asking leading questions and by steering him towards the solution, which is your product. That you will learn to do in later courses. But that is the number one goal, is to fulfill his need with your product. Okay, whatever product it is that you have. The second goal is to get at least 3 more referrals from this person. Okay, so that's the important part. And that is what most salespeople forget. They go in thinking, I just want to make a sale, I just want to make a sale. When they've made the sale, they pack up and go. And then they have to start all over again looking for a new person to sell to. That's only half of the objective and the goal of the meeting has been concluded once you've made the sale. The second part is to get 3 more referrals from this person, okay? Because once again, getting a referral from this person makes your life so much easier. And if you've done the investment, or you've done the sale to him, or you've concluded some sort of a deal with this person, it's so much better to mention that than to the next people that he's referred you to. Say, I'm doing his building now, or I'm doing his broking now, or I'm doing whatever service it is that you're offering to him, I'm doing it for him. And people then trust, because it's a friend of theirs or a colleague or an associate of theirs that you are now working for, that immediately establishes your connection. So very important. You need to make that a habit, okay? Asking for the referrals needs to become a habit as part of the whole sales process, and the end of it, you ask for the referral. If he hasn't done the sale with you, it's even more important, because then you can be even more persistent and you're not concerned about what he thinks or so on. If he's not going to buy the product from you, all you need to use him for is to get the referrals, and even say to him, okay, I understand if it's not suitable for you, but I do need to get some referrals out of you because I need to make a sale. So ask him for referrals. But as I said, don't say, please give me 3 referrals. Don't ask it like that. Say to him, by the way, in your job, by then he's told you about where he works and what he does, etc. Which of your colleagues, who would you think are the top 2 colleagues who would benefit most from my service? So you're not asking, have you got a colleague who would benefit? Ask him specific questions that he can point you to 2 people. Ask him the same with his family, with his spouse's family, friends at his sports club, that type of thing. So ask specific questions to get the leads. If you keep this up at every meeting you go to, you will eventually have too many referrals, if there is such a thing. I mean, once you set up that many meetings, you get assistants to come and help you and to see the people for you, or you just plan your life better so that you're seeing more and more and more people. However, that's the good problem to have, is if you have too many leads and too many referrals. But that's the goal, and once it becomes a habit, that is what eventually happens to you. And then you can start sifting through them and making sure you're seeing the top quality referrals, because then your sales are going to go absolutely through the roof.